Hi there. I had to be in Edinburgh this morning at 9 o'clock for some work, and I had two choices. I could leave at 7:30 from Glasgow and spend an hour in traffic, or I could do what I've done and left at 4:30, came all the way through to the east coast for sunrise, and I'll drop into Edinburgh on my way back. A little place called Dunbar. I'm at the Belhaven Bridge, or as it's become known, the Bridge to Nowhere. And we have, at the moment, that lucky combination of sunrise and high tide being within 10 minutes of each other. It's reasonably clear. There's a bit of cloud cover, which I'm hoping will mean we'll have a nice sunrise. And I've just checked and the tide is in, so the bridge is going nowhere. So yeah, fingers crossed we'll get a good shot here. I've never been before, so I don't know what to expect, but we'll give it a go. Well, as you can see, there is a bridge, and it is...
Okay, so as you've probably already noticed, it was extremely windy when I shot this, and unfortunately I didn't realise that my microphone was picking up more of the wind than it was of me, so I'm afraid there's going to be another bit of voiceover in this particular video. Sorry.
I'm looking for the best angle just now. It's probably about here.
Okay, well, I was reasonably happy with this as a first shot. I decided pretty quickly that I didn't like the fact that the headland in the background there kind of merges with the bridge, and also it fails to include what is probably one of the most noticeable landmarks in the area, and that's the Bass Rock, the volcanic island out on the Firth of Forth there. So I decided to move a little bit further along and change the composition a bit. So what I was saying here was I'd pretty much settled on my next angle, which I'll show you in a second. Basically I'd lined the bridge up so that it had the Bass Rock to the left there, and I'd managed to exclude that little bit of headland off to the right, and my plan was now to just wait for the light to appear. Yeah, as you can see, the best of the sunrise was happening off to the side and not directly behind the bridge, which is where I'd hoped it would be. But as the morning progressed, we got some nice colours in the sky just off to the west, behind the bridge. I'd put a graduated filter on to try and darken down the sky a little bit and really enhance those colours, and set a slow shutter speed to try and blur those waves slightly. So with that shot in the bag, I decided I was going to try an even longer exposure. So I got my 10 stop neutral density filter out just as the wind picked up, and tried pretty much the same composition but with a much longer exposure, just to see if we could smooth out these waves. As I was taking that shot, as you can see, the sun cleared some clouds and was starting to pick out details over on the opposite bank and on the Bass Rock. So I sat down for a while, tried to decide on another shot, and just appreciated the view for a little while. but it was too tempting, and I knew that I didn't have very long, so I quickly recomposed and tried to make the most of the light hitting the bass rock. We didn't have the light for long before it disappeared again behind another bank of clouds, so I realised it was going to be one of those mornings, and kind of resigned myself to not actually getting any direct light onto the bridge. At least that's what I thought.
Hey, maybe sometimes you do get what you wish for. The sun's starting to hit the bridge now. It's just giving it a little bit of depth, and it's making it pop a little bit more from the water. So I'm still grabbing long exposures, but in between times I'm grabbing some more traditional photographs. But yeah, it's looking good. It's looking very, very good.
With the sun now picking out the bridge as well as the bass rock, I decided to move slightly to the side, and so through shifting perspective I managed to get the bass rock on the opposite side of the bridge, just to see if that made for a more pleasing image. I also got a little bit wider and tried to include some of the foreground, including this old concrete drainage area.
The sun disappears again and the bridge is in darkness. It's all about timing. Yeah, you don't know when. We've got a bank of clouds behind me, which is obviously blocking the sun in places.
So yeah, all in, I'd thoroughly recommend a trip to the Belhaven Bridge if you're anywhere near Dunbar or the east coast of Scotland. It's an interesting location. It's very, very easy to get to. It's very easy to find. But you get the impression that it would look very, very different in different weather conditions. Obviously the trick's to be there at high tide, but if you can time high tide to coincide with something else that's quite interesting, such as the sunrise or the sunset, or I don't know, a full moon, or even a storm or some fog or something like that, then I think you could get a series of very, very interesting images.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get myself a reputation as a greatest hit photographer here now. That's my last two videos have involved really popular viewpoints, both of which are viewpoints I've never shot before, but I'm very glad I did both. Maybe I should start shooting more and more of these things.
Of course, it wouldn't count as a day of photography for me unless I had at least one black and white image. If there's anything about the location that you'd be interested in knowing, just drop me a message below, and I'll see you next time.